will get the recording hopefully tomorrow. We're going to send it out tomorrow. That's the plan. Okay. So it's 7 o'clock. We want to stay on track time-wise. So I'm going to say good evening to everyone. I'm just getting myself set up here. Yes. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our event, A Celebration of Love. It's so lovely to see you. I can't see all of you right now, but I know there's lots of familiar faces and some of you I don't know, so welcome to you all. Now, before we go any further, I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to ask you all to help me with something because I want us together to create a beautiful, relaxing virtual space that we can rest in and enjoy for the rest of this evening. So in a moment, I'm going to ask you to take 3 deep breaths. We're going to breathe deep right down into our belly. And then we're going to, as we breathe out, release any tension in our bodies and any persistent thoughts that are circulating in our minds. And we're just going to leave the day behind and come into a place of relaxation. So if you're willing to do that, you might want to close your eyes, or if not, just bring your gaze gently down and let's breathe together. So let's take a deep in-breath. And then breathe out through your mouth. And as you do, let go of any tension in your muscles, in your body. Feel that tension, that stress draining out of your body. Breathe in again. And as you let go of that breath, also let go of any persistent thoughts. Just let them drift away. And then another deep in-breath. And then let that breath go. And along with it, let the tensions, the stresses of the day dissolve away so that you come into a place of quiet stillness. And as we rest here together, I'm going to invite you to place one of the palms of your hand over the center of your chest, over your heart center. And just see if you can sense your heart, your physical heart, your energetic heart, maybe even your spiritual heart. See if you can get a sense of it. Now, we may not be together in a physical space tonight, but we're creating a beautiful virtual heart space where we're all together. And let's strengthen that connection by imagining that we're sending out, each one of us sending out a golden thread of beautiful healing light that we send out from our hearts, and let it move around the group, connecting with every other heart, moving all the way around and coming back to our own heart, completing the circle. What a lovely image. Let's see if we can maintain that sense of peace and that connection as we move forward with our evening. So when you're ready, just gently come back to the room. So there were a few reasons for holding this event this evening. One of them being that I just felt we could probably do with a little injection of joy at this time. By the time you get to mid-February, even if you like winter, I love winter, but even so, the cold days, the dark nights, they're just beginning to drag. And even though spring really is just around the corner, I thought this event could just give us a little boost. And not only give us a boost because it's the end of a long winter, but also because the world is a bit of a challenging place right now. But tonight, instead of giving our attention to what's out there that we're not enjoying, that we don't like, let's give our attention and our energy to that which we want to see more of in this world. Let's give our focus tonight to love. And I'm going to hand over in a moment to some others who are going to give their thoughts on love and what it means to them. But I just wanted to say a very few words on what love means to me. So briefly, of course, there are many different forms of love, as we know. But with love, as with any topic when we're searching for truth, it's essential that we take a few steps back in order to get an overall sense of what we're dealing with. But when it comes to love, it seems, we need to take many steps back and then even more steps back. Because with love, the more you dig down into it, it just grows and grows. It seems it's infinite, it's limitless. Which is why in the end, I resonate very much with this quote that comes from the poet E.E. Cummings, which is, "Love is the whole and more than all." And I also feel the truth of this statement by the theosophist Gottfried de Perucker. Love is the cement of the universe. It holds all things in place and in eternal keeping. Now, these are obviously very expansive statements. There are many who say love equates with what could be considered the most expansive concept of all, God. God is love, as many have said. Now, if you don't resonate with the term God, as many don't, and that's fine, you could switch it for source or the absolute or even life force. And so if love is our life force, you could say it's what drives everything in this world. Or you could say it's the reason for everything, the purpose for everything. And there's another lovely quote that I just want to insert here by Wayne Dyer, which is, "Whatever the question, love is the answer." This is what I believe. I feel love is our one true purpose, that we're here on this earth only to learn how to give and to receive love. And that whatever the problem, whatever the challenge or the question, love is always the answer. It's always the solution. And where our hearts fit in my opinion, is that our hearts are the channel that allows our life force and our love to come into us, to come into this physical realm. And so it's through our hearts that, by tuning to our hearts, that we connect to our life force and then we connect to love. So those are my thoughts. And before I hand over to my colleague and co-founder of the Awakening Heart Collective, Louise Livingston, let me just quickly run through the order of this evening. So I've given my thoughts on love. There's going to be some other people that we'll be inviting to share their thoughts in the first section of this evening. And then at 7:30, we are going to go into breakout rooms. So we're going to divide you up into smaller groups so that you have an opportunity to share amongst yourselves what love means to you and what your thoughts are on love. And maybe some of the things that you hear in the first section will ignite some ideas in your own minds. So that will be a lovely opportunity for you to share with one another. And then we'll come back at 7:45 to reflect some more in our bigger group. And at that point, you may want to share some of your ideas with the group as a whole, or if you just want to sit back and listen, that's fine too. And then we'll be going into a beautiful, nice long meditation around 8 o'clock that's going to be led by Reverend Padma, and I'm going to introduce her shortly. But for now, let me stop speaking and hand over to Louise. Thank you, Louise.
Thank you, Liz. Can everyone hear me? Yeah, okay. It's really lovely to be with you here tonight. Yeah, thank you, Liz, for those beautiful reflections on love. For me, I think there's a lot of similarities there with what you've said, Liz. Love's, for me, a creative force, an energy that animates life. And in my own world, I really feel that creative force, that energy through the natural world. So, kind of feeling loved into being through the natural world that invites us to play and to feel and to co-create in this relational space. And so I was thinking about, a delicate flower opening as the warm rays of the sun gently invite this flower into relationship through the love of the sun, and thinking about what that means, this co-creative calling forth the fullness, the wholeness of another, demanding nothing other than for the other that we're in the relational space with to become more whole through the other. And through this creative force, through the teachings of nature, we're invited into the great mystery of this creative force, into this loving force that invites others into this too. And I was thinking about the late Stephen Harrod Booner. Some of you may know his work in his book, One Spirit, Many Peoples. And he says, love is not sentimental or demanding. Its source is the sacred center of all things one finds. Of all things, one finds it and learns to live from it and to express it, but it does not have its beginning or end in the self. So it's called forth from us in the relational space with another. And I just wanted to sort of speak to this in terms of, my own experiences in the natural world. And I have these kinds of experiences pretty much every day. But one in particular took place in a moment about 10 years ago in deep contemplation. I was in Devon with a little plant. And in this moment, I'll never forget, the earth spoke. And I knew and felt deep in my heart the truth of the love of the earth, the sun and the rain, as they were giving life to this delicate little plant that I was in this relationship with, loving this little being into life. And so this intricate network of elements and beings bringing each other more into being through the creative animating force of love just really gave me this beautiful message for how we may move forward as human beings in the human to human relational space, as well as the human and the more than human relational space. So those are just some of my thoughts on love and the creative force from my own perspectives. But yeah, just handing over now to Claire and to Peter, my colleagues here at the Awakening Heart Collective. So over to you.
Thank you, and thank you, Louise, as ever, for your words of such wisdom. Thank you. I wanted to think about what the word love meant and what it means to us. And love is at both times the most fundamental and ancient part of humanity, and yet to describe it, to catch the universal and ever-stretching nature of love in words can lie quite beyond us. It's how to express that part of us that links us to each other. Love moves between those we know and have never met. It moves across time and space, and it's uncompromising. It's always with us, and it stays within us through elation and joy, the quiet and the peaceful times of day. Love is present at the most testing of times, and it unites us all through life and death and asks for nothing in return. And I'm going to read a small piece by the American author Diana Ackerman with her interpretation of what love meant. Love. What a small world we use for an idea so immense and powerful, it has altered the flow of history, calmed monsters, kindled works of art, cheered the forlorn, turned tough men to mush, consoled the enslaved, driven strong women mad, glorified the humble, fueled national scandals, bankrupted robber barons, and made mincemeat of kings. How can love's spaciousness be conveyed in the narrow confines of one syllable? Love is an ancient delirium, a desire older than civilization, with taproots stretching deep into dark and mysterious days. The heart is a living museum. In each of its galleries, no matter how narrow or dimly lit, preserved forever like wondrous diadems, are our moments of loving and being loved. And I'll hand over to Peter.
Okay, thank you, Claire. Just listening to those words, it occurs to me, when I was younger, I just thought they were absolute rubbish because I'm a scientist, and so I was trained as, and I had a pretty analytical, quite a cold idea of love. I thought it was an emotion, albeit a powerful emotion, that brought us together, essentially to have babies. And that prevails, of course, in many scientific circles, that idea. But I have changed my idea over the years. And it's through some experiences, some painful, some absolutely joyous, that I've become to realize that love is far more special, far more profound than that. And as some of you may know, Claire and I have been researching the heart for over 10 years now. And there is no doubt from our data that love is truly special. And that our hearts synchronize, heart is not just a metaphor for love, it's an actual synchronization that happens when we experience love, not just romantically, but for friends. I'm sure it would happen with nature as well if we're measuring it. But that's what happens. And what I realize is that so many people over the years have tried to describe love, with words, with songs, even with equations and numbers. Some scientists are still doing it with AI. Good luck to them with their AI chatbot love machines. I think that'll fail miserably. But what I realize is, although we can't describe it fully, we can experience it. We can experience it in any moment, any space. And that's what holds me. And every day I try to remember that. But I'm work in progress and it's difficult. But if I can remember that truth, that we are connected by love through the heart, I think that will make my life at least a little easier. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Claire. And thank you, Louise. So you've heard from us. We're the Awakening Heart Collective. And now I want to introduce you to the Rev Padma Devi Sumananda, but we'll call her Padma for short this evening. She is founder and president of the Heart of Living Yoga organization, which does some amazing charity work all over the world, as well as offering training and education for students of the heart. Now, we're really lucky this evening because Padma, who has such a beautiful energy, is going to be leading us in a meditation towards the end of the evening. But for now, I'm going to hand over to her because I think she has some words to say to us on what love means to her. So Padma, we'd like to hand over to you. How lovely to see you.
Thank you. Really beautiful to be here with everybody in this wonderful, warm expanse of loving energy that we're all sharing here. And it's love that has brought us all to the planet and together here this evening. I think someone else said something like this. I think it was Louise who said that love is loving everything into being. I find that's true. So I was wondering what I might say about love, and my mind flew back to when I was 16, when I first fell in love. And he was 18. It was Romeo and Juliet all over again. And I can remember announcing to my mother one day, I'm in love. And she looked at me in some kind of horror. Imagine you've got a 16-year-old daughter saying this. And she said to me, "What can you know of love at your age?" Quite a challenge, which I didn't feel in that way, but I just spoke from what I knew in my 16-year-old self at that time. And I said, love is wanting the happiness of the other person. And she didn't say any more to me, but she told me some years later she went to speak to my grandfather about this situation because she was still worried about a 16-year-old in love. And she told him what I'd said, and he smiled at her and said, "I think she knows more about love than you," which was very lovely of my mum to tell me later on. She didn't tell me at the time, obviously. And I was thinking about that, and it's still true. That's still true for me, that in a way, it's my understanding and experience has expanded since then through my, my personal life, bringing up 6 boys and being married for 40 years and so on. So for me, really, I think love is the place where we are able to let go of our individual self. It's the place where we find it easy to let go of our separation and become one. And I think that's why we love being in love. We love it, don't we? And we lose the limitation, I think. And we suddenly find ourselves very expansive because we've let go of thinking only of me. It's the same when we have children or have a beloved pet or a partner, I think. So, that's my first thoughts. Have we got time to share a little poem, Liz? Yeah, okay, thank you. So it's a poem that we had a heart day in a disadvantaged community in the UK a few years ago. And we had a wonderful poet with us who went around asking people, what does love mean to you? So I thought, let's have a look at what they said. Okay, so imagine a very varied community, and the poet wove everything they said into this poem that's called What Love Is. Love is doing dangerous things, brighter than the sun, deeper than the cave runs. Love is a doodle, a cartoon heart left on a piece of scrap paper. A family trip to the park with autumn leaves crackling underfoot and a swing for everyone, where we heave like waves crashing against a shore and taste sea salt in the air and laugh in wonder at the thunder we make. Love is lightning, love is a roar that won't wake the sleeping grandchildren or shake the morning dew from the grass. Love is as happy with infinity as with stroking a cat. Love is a kitten born on Valentine's Day called Misty. Yeah, and she's black and white, and when she goes out, she hangs out with other cats. Love is as simple as that. Love spends time with me in the morning, watching the sea meet the sky. Love keeps me balanced, flowing in unison, a stream, a waterfall, a tap left running in the kitchen where we sit around the table tasting homemade cake. Love is my family. My family is my world. My world is a garden of roses or a bunch of herbs tied with ribbon. Lavender, jasmine, birds chirping loud, laughter like hyenas, and a hug that you want to have forever. Forever. Love will never leave you stumped. Love is a piece of art by Farhad, aged 22 months. Love is a last set of keys. Endless, eternal, a walk through the woods with the leaves jangling along all the branches. And then love is suddenly found right here, and right here where we left it. Thank you.
That was beautiful. There's so many lovely sharings this evening. I feel like we need a few minutes after each to just absorb. There's so much. But we've got only a short amount of time together this evening, so I will move on and introduce Grace Loveday. Hi, Grace. Grace?
Yep. Yes, I'm here.
Mine.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, hi. She's a massage therapist and interspiritual minister, and she specializes in the field of death, dying, and grief support. And I know that she is going to have some lovely insights for us this evening.
No pressure then.
So Grace, over to you.
Thank you. Yeah, so love. It's just been very touching to hear everybody else speak about love. And I sometimes find it difficult to put love into words. And I was thinking about this and was very fortunate to be holding a retreat on Sunday. And into the afternoon, I led a very simple relaxation and then invited people to go into silence. And some people continued napping, some people went into meditation, some people were reading, some people wrote. And there was just this beautiful energy that we had co-created as the day had unfolded. And I was just sitting holding that space. And I had this exquisite feeling move into the center of my body, and it moved me to tears. And I was just tuning in with myself and sort of trying to figure out what this feeling was. And it was love. It was just pure, simple, exquisite love. Something about that connection. I think it was Rumi who said that love is the bridge between us all. And there was something about this connection of these beautiful souls in this room who were in this space and just allowing them to be completely themselves. There was no expectation on anyone to be anything. And I think love is something about that, which Padma, I suppose, was saying really, that allowing and giving people that opportunity in that space to really become who they truly are. It's about that bright flame of one's true essence that is fostered and encouraged and blossoms when we give it love. And I think there's something about offering love to others and compassion and kindness and goodness, and also to remember to turn that back to ourselves and offer ourselves some self-love and some self-kindness. And that, I think, is often missing. So to have that flow, the flow of love, that love is within us, love flows through us, love surrounds us. And my growing understanding of all the different religions and wisdom traditions is that that is the thread that binds them all, that flows through every wisdom tradition, is that beautiful sense of love, and something about acceptance, allowing ourselves, as I was saying, just to be able to bloom and blossom into our own true nature. And that, I think, is the ground of love. So thank you.
Thank you, Grace, and particularly for reminding us that we need to turn that back and look after and love ourselves, because you're right, that bit often gets missed. So thank you for that. And I'm now going to introduce Sue Mason. Hello, welcome, Sue.
Hi.
Sue is a healer of many years experience, and also the founder and director of the Omnis Healing School. And so, Sue, I know you also will have some lovely insights to share with us. But thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for inviting me, Liz. How could I not come to a celebration of love event? How wonderful. So as an energy healing practitioner, I understand healing to be an expression of unconditional love and a reminder that our true self, our soul, is of unconditional love. And I believe that we are extensions of the unconditional love of the source that all there is, that we are energetic, eternal beings who create and experience life. So how should we be while we're doing that? I think being consciously aware of the fact that we are extensions of the unconditional love of source automatically gives our existence a purpose, one of being in harmony with our true selves and manifesting love in our lives. So living a life of love wherever we are and whatever we're doing while we create and experience life might be said to be our true purpose. And if we allow our energies to vibrate with the frequency of love, this expands this creative energy of source and so opens the door to that unlimited potential of source. And I love a quote by Harold W. Becker in his book, Unconditional Love, An Unlimited Way of Being. And this has an interesting and pertinent definition of how to live a life in unconditional love. And he says, simply stated, unconditional love is an unlimited way of being. We are without any limit to our thoughts and feelings in life and can create any reality we choose to focus our attention upon. There are infinite imaginative possibilities when we allow the freedom to go beyond our perceived limits. If we can dream it, we can build it. Life through unconditional love is a wondrous adventure that excites the very core of our being and lights our path with delight. So I just love that. And I'll just finish with a channeled message from Source, where it said that a decision to love will positively influence all, bringing heaven to earth. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. That was beautiful. So many beautiful thoughts and sentiments. I hope you're all enjoying listening to what everyone's had to say. But I think it would be nice now if we all get a chance to share what's in our hearts with one another in smaller groups. And so what I'm going to do now is set up some breakout sessions, and let me just remind myself how I do that. Okay. And we are going to have 15 minutes, or maybe just a little less than that, but coming up to 15 minutes to share in groups of maybe 4 or 5, and then we'll come back for some more reflection. And if you want to share what's been spoken about in your group with the rest of the group, then that would be lovely. So let me just assign these groups.
Helping love spread itself through the world, where it's needed most. And we might look at how things are flowing in the world right now and on the news and such, and we can see that the systems are out of balance. And yet at the same time, underneath the surface, a bit hidden away, not so obvious, love is changing everything. And so we have this opportunity, as Sue told us, to choose love and to help bring heaven to earth.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And so if any of you do feel inspired to make a little donation to the Heart of Living Yoga, then we'll include the link when we send out the recording, and you can read more about the amazing work that the team are doing. And there's the name of the Belgian, did you say? Yeah. Scientist, thank you.
Yeah,
well,
thank
I
you.
think tonight we've created a little bit of a coherent island by coming together, and who knows where that heart energy spreads to. I mean, Peter would be able to tell us more, but what we know is that heart energy goes out on a quantum level and makes a real difference in the world. So thank you all for being here this evening. And I'm saying a few thank yous now, because after we go into the meditation at the end of that, I'm just going to say a gentle goodbye so that you can remain in that beautiful relaxed state and go off into your evening, drift off into your evening. So I do want to thank everyone that's been here this evening. Thank you all for coming and bringing your beautiful hearts into this space and being willing to listen to us and share in the small groups. Thank you to all of you. A special thank you, of course, to Grace and Sue for sharing their insights, and particularly also to Padma for being with us. So thank you, Padma. So if there's nothing else that anyone wants to add, I'm going to ask you now to get yourselves in a really lovely, comfortable position. You may want to just relax back and lie down, but perhaps it would be better to remain seated, but in a nice supported position with your feet flat on the ground, and enjoy this next session with Padma, because I know it's going to be wonderful. So I will say a gentle goodbye at the end, but I'm going to hand you over to Padma now. I will just ask you all to please mute yourselves so that we're not disturbed by any background noise during this lovely meditation. So Padma, let me in you, and then I will mute myself.
Thank you, Shanta. Shanta, Liz, thank you. Thank you, everybody. I just felt inspired to mention one little, very small teaching from my teacher. And it's just 2 words that he gave to a group who were hoping to spend an hour with him. And I think he had a lot to do, other things. And he walked in and he looked at everybody And he said these 2 words. He said, just love. And he left. And then all these people waiting for him, they never forgot that teaching, even though when they'd been with him for hours or days, they probably didn't remember much. But those 2 words, just love, seemed to me to be a description of reality. Just love. That's it. That's all. That's all. That literally is all. But also those 2 words are an instruction. So it's telling us what there is and all we need to do in 2 words. So I just wanted to share that with you as well. Yeah. So if you would like to join me in a heart meditation, a gentle heart meditation, invite you to let your body move. We've been still for a while, and it's good to invite comfort and movement into the body, letting it find its own way to come into a comfortable alignment. Yeah. And I think I'm feeling to begin this meditation in a somatic way, from the body, from the sensation of the body. So, because who wants to know more stuff about love? Huh? Who wants to read another book or listen to another person saying something about it when really we just want to get back to our own experience of who we are and be love. So let's see if we can get there. Or no, let's not see if we can get there. Let's just be present. There's nothing to do, there's no goal, no aim. In fact, the opposite is true. It's letting go of all aims and goals and techniques and something to learn or something to get, something to have. It's about letting go of all those filters. If you're able to be seated, it's good to have both feet flat on the ground and both sitting bones firmly resting on your chair or the floor if you're sitting there. And take a moment to feel the support of the earth beneath your feet, and knowing it's always supporting us, and noticing the same support beneath the sitting bones. And we can allow the weight of the body to drop down to the sitting bones and the feet, feeling the support of the earth, the whole planet that's beneath us. Taking a sweet breath in and a gentle sigh out, letting the weight of the body drop down onto the earth. Just taking that first thing to let go, the weight of the body, dropping it down to the earth. And observe the sensations within your body now. If it's available to you and comfortable, let your eyes gently close so that you can notice what's going on inside the body at the level of sensation. Just observing and noticing, not doing anything about what's happening. Notice what's happening at the sensory level. Perhaps the whole body at once, or perhaps you want to begin at the feet. What's happening in the feet? What am I sensing there? The legs. What are the legs sensing? The body, the arms and hands, the shoulders, the neck, the jaw and the face, the tongue. What is the tongue sensing? What are the eyes feeling? What is the hair sensing? Perhaps being able to hold all that sensory awareness at once, and then letting that go too, and notice what's happening at the level of breath. Simply observe and notice, and let go of any need to control or change the breath. Just let the breath breathe itself and sink into the sensations within the body. Letting yourself be held by Mother Earth, being with the sensations of the body, just being gentle and accepting them, simply by saying welcome to all those sensations, welcome. And saying welcome to the divine indweller in everything you're experiencing. Simply saying welcome. As you say welcome, the possibility of a softening of the sensations begins to arise with this welcome. Allow the softening to continue and deepen. And perhaps the sensations may even begin to melt away. We don't demand that it happens, but you might notice it. And if they do begin to change and melt, you can say, I let you go. I'm letting you go, thank you. And we can take another sweet breath in and gently sigh out. Feeling the sweet relaxation in the body and the breath. Take a moment to notice the mind without going into the mind. Just observing if it's quiet or still or peaceful. And let go of the mind. And I invite you to take a deep breath in and a gentle sigh out. And bring a gentle touch to the heart center in the center of your chest. And noticing the breath beneath the hand. Noticing the chest moving beneath the hand. That gentle breath, your awareness in the heart center, the spiritual heart. Just staying with that gentle breath of the heart. It feels as though the heart itself is breathing. Let all your awareness gather in this sweet rhythm of the breath of the heart. And as you stay with this breath of the heart, it might begin to feel as though the heart is blossoming, is expanding. If it doesn't, don't worry, just stay with the breath of the heart, letting all your awareness gather there in the center of the heart center, the heart within the heart. And perhaps a smile comes to the face as you begin to feel the sensations of the heart center, of the heart within the heart. Just let that natural smile flow to the face, nothing to worry about, but staying with the sensations of the heart, letting them expand and flow. Staying with these beautiful sensations of the heart, the blessing of the heart. And this heart, as we know, is infinite. So you might experience it expanding beyond the bounds of the physical body. And you may not, and it's all fine. And perhaps if it expands beyond the physical body, you find yourself in a state of expanded consciousness. It is all serene. It is all peaceful. It is all loving. And it feels like home. If you want to relax your hand down at any time, staying in this beautiful heart space, please do. If the mind comes back, just bring the hand back to the heart center and reconnect with yourself and the self of all, the same one. Let's take a moment in this beautiful gathering of harmony and peace and love as we rest in our hearts, to have a sweet heart intention that this peace and harmony flow out through us to all. Greeting each heart it meets as it flows out through the world and through the universe. This wondrous love flowing through us, flowing out to meet itself and flow back to us. One heart, one love, all one, all one, all one. Peace, peace. May peace be with us all.
Thank you, Padma. That was so beautiful. Thank you to all of you for being here this evening, for bringing your beautiful hearts into this space. As I said, I'm not going to say too much now, other than once again, thank you. And I'll be sending out the recordings tomorrow. And I hope we can stay connected with other events in the future. I'll be in touch tomorrow. Once again, thank you, everyone. Particularly thank you to you, Padma. Lots of love, everybody. Bye-bye.